Be intellectually correct. Stay IP.
So, yeah, sitting with Dennis Kriel. He'll tell you about him and his businesses. Multiple. We just had a discussion about a new one you just launched. Yeah. People that are new here, we literally just sit and talk about business and IP and commercialization and strategy. And somewhere we stopped the video. And if you like what you see, then I'm glad. If you don't, skip to another video. Maybe you'll like that. Dennis, I mean, we've said we have to do a sit down forever, because every time we've got a meeting, then we chat about everything and like, we should have recorded this.
That's good content.
And so this time we're like, nope, we're just going to commit, do a meeting, do a podcast. You also have your own podcast, and we'll chat about that now as well. I think start. Who are you? What do you do? I know, but they don't.
Yeah. So, hi everybody. My name is Dennis Kriel. To my wife's discontent, I call myself a serial entrepreneur. We've got a rule that I'm not allowed to, start a new business until I've gone through the process of giving it over to a COO that runs it for me. So I'm trying to keep my limitations to about 7 businesses that I run and companies that I build in different stages. Of course, you always have your, finding product market fit, then your scale up phase. And then when things get, systematized and productized and, then you just have that consistent growth and running, then I normally get bored. So then I start a new one. So I normally have about 3 to 5 business ideas that I have tucked away when it's ready, and then I've got the starting and the running nailed down now. That's why I started a digital marketing company, because then you can build a website, get all your funnels built, all your products worked out within about 2 or 3 weeks, and start marketing. So I love to solve problems in the world. That's for me, the definition of entrepreneurship is find a need, solve what that pain point is, find a need, fill a need.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm all about. It's been all over the world, but I really do love South Africa specifically. I think we've got so much potential.
Yeah, we do.
And we have such talented people, and I get all excited about creating jobs by creating businesses. So that's really what makes me tick. It's at the end of the day, it's knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and putting the people in place to compensate for your weaknesses.
Yeah, no,
so you can focus on your superpower.
That is a very important thing. A lot of people, and again, I know we had this discussion numerous times, but a lot of people tend to want to do everything themselves. That they're scared of letting go, scared of delegating, scared of trusting somebody else with the business they just started. And I've gone through it when we started. I know you mentioned in your first few businesses, you also you were reluctant. But the moment you realize that there's things that you can't do and other people can do it better. I mean, I'm a dreamer and I do things in my way, but we need somebody that's more rigid, and this is how it must be done. And the two of us have completely different strengths, but we fulfill one goal. And getting people in to say, okay, well, you're good with finance, you're good with this, you're good with that, you're good with marketing, you're good with client relations, you're good with these types of clients, and you're good with those types of clients. And then you build a team that drives towards a common goal rather than just wanting to do everything ourselves. And you can't micromanage other people if you need to trust them to do what they do good, because you can't do it. That's so many small businesses fail because of not being able to trust other people. You can't do everything yourselves.
And you call that the founder's dilemma.
Yeah.
I do a lot of consulting with entrepreneurs and founders
Yes.
that's scaling up their businesses, because that's our ideal clients at Verdantech, is to work with those businesses that's scaling to help them make sure that they reach their ideal clients. And then what I enjoy doing is sitting with those founders and entrepreneurs and saying, okay, why are you doing this? what is your superpowers? How are you putting your superpowers into place to make this work? And what systems are you building so that you can scale? Because the founder's dilemma is, at one stage, you become the bottleneck.
Yeah.
And your business cannot scale past your calendar and your skills.
Yes.
And your talents.
Yes. And your relationships, because let's be honest, not everybody that's a potential client will like you. It's the truth. And sometimes it's worth getting somebody with opposite personality, because there's opposites in the world. I mean, somebody that likes the funk and funkiness and weirdness and bubbly will like to engage with me, but somebody that's very serious will like to engage with Robin. You've met Robin, our patent attorney. She's she's a brilliant patent attorney, but this is how it is, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's two different clients that will be comfortable with the two different personalities we have. So yeah, it's that bottleneck. If I wanted to see all the clients, I don't have time because I sell my time. Plus, some clients might not just gel with me, and they'll be more comfortable with somebody else. So yeah, that founder's dilemma is a massive issue.
It's a great book on that, the E-Myth.
Yes.
And if you haven't read it and you're moving in that space, do read it. And it talks exactly about this, is how do you get past that bottleneck where, you love, what's a good example? I love blacksmithing. I love forging, making swords and axes and all the rest of it. Started building a company where I would do courses, and then soon realized that now every Saturday I'm teaching people how to do blacksmithing. I don't get around to doing my own stuff. And now that which I love has become a burden.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm excited about anymore. Until, my apprentice of 8 years, his life dream was always to be a full-time blacksmith. And he started working there, and suddenly he could take the courses. And I could trust him to lead the courses now. And now it frees up half of my Saturdays. But you have to have the guts to let go.
Yeah. No, and
put people and systems in place.
Yeah.
Even though it's your baby, your blood, sweat, and tears that brought it to where it is, and letting go. And I think it's something that we see now as well is what's really working in marketing, for instance, is becoming a key person of influence.
Yes. Yeah, and that brings me to the topic I think we should discuss. But let's not give it away. But that key person of influence, especially, it's a positive and a negative thing, and there's also two facets of that. In your case, and other serial entrepreneurs who starts different companies. People associate a company with you as it's Dennis Kriel's Forge company, and it's Dennis Kriel's marketing company, and it's Dennis Kriel's AI company, and it's Dennis Kriel's this company. Okay, but you need to, you use your personal brand, to build a company, but then you have to distance yourself from the personal brand and have the company have a brand on its own. And that's the two things. You use your brand, but then you have to distance it and have it its own brand, sort of. And that's usually it's valuable, but it's also a problem. Like we in the beginning had the same problem. Everybody wanted to speak to Christian.
Yeah.
Okay, but and you helped us. It was a very, very interesting way in which we sat and designed it. So you guys know, I know, if you don't, you haven't been on our website yet, but I know is our mascot and AI legal assistant. Dennis helped us program her.
Yeah.
She
uses a lot of words. So
well, she said, I know everything. So there you go. So you helped us program, I know, because my intention was to say, how do I because Stain IP is a brand on its own, but everybody associated Christian Stain with Stain IP. How do I distance that? Very easily. Make a non-human entity that people associate with. And using a mascot is not a new thing. I mean, Michelin tires, that's, I think, the most iconic, well-known Michelin man, because they had this ability to have a mascot fulfill the personal brand aspect of the business, and then the founders could move away and focus on something else. But I'm chatting way too much. So yeah, that personal brand, that key person of influence. Now I only have personal experience in our company, but you obviously see it a lot, not only in your own companies, but also when you consult with other founders. So yeah, from your experience, that key person of influence or the personal brand, and I'll chat about protecting it and what the legal aspects of it later on. But how do you experience it? And especially, how do you see and can guide people without giving away too much, on using it for the benefit of their company? I think that's a key important factor. How do you commercialize it?
Yeah. So I think the first thing to understand, and this is what we're seeing within the marketing space, is people are weary of companies.
Yes.
They want to buy from people. People want to buy from people. So they want to know what you stand for, what your values are, what you say no to, and what you say yes to. And because if they can connect with you and align with your values and what you talk about and what's important to you, then they can get excited about the stuff that you are doing. And the stuff that you are doing, you can then commercialize and productize. Where, let's take Elon Musk. Now, I've got a lot of respect for the guy as an engineer. I differ for him on some of his opinions. I think he's doing a stellar job making sure that we don't run into, population decline. But like the guy, I hate the guy. Exactly what he stands for. So when he says, I built an awesome car, you go, I want a Tesla.
Yeah.
It's not called the Elon Musk car.
Yeah.
It's called a Tesla.
Tesla, but it's an association body.
It's association. If Richard Branson, which we know is also a good example of a serial entrepreneur.
Yeah, he is.
He's the vitality that gets people going. And if he says this brand, I endorse this brand, and he's, the way he's basically involved with it could be in different ways, a lot of people follow him. If you look at the social media followings of the people, 100 million for Richard Branson, 10 million for Virgin Airlines.
Yes.
The companies normally have 10%, and don't quote me on the numbers, I might be wrong, but it's just the principle, might have 10% of the actual followers of that person. And I think for entrepreneurs, we need to make that mind shift change of, you can't just be the silent person sitting in the back, being the chief cook and bottle washer. Your role as CEO or founder of your company is to become known, liked, and trusted. Because if you are known, liked, and trusted, and you say, listen, I've got this new product idea, will you please come and test it for us? Or, we're running this webinar. Come to the webinar. We're going to talk about the stuff we're doing. Now, because I like Christian and I like what he stands for, and I like his opinion on the of what's happening in the world, I go, I trust you. I'll come to your webinar. Yeah. And now suddenly you've got a lead that you can follow up on. And it's not about using people. It's about being honest and authentic. But people want to connect to people.
That's true.
So the principles we work with is 7-11-4. So you want 7 hours of content available. That could be a blog that you wrote, a book that you wrote, your website, podcasts, any content where they can get to know you better. If people spend 7 hours with you and they have 11 touch points, that could be an ad where you mentioned, or something on News 24 where your brand comes up, or a LinkedIn post,
sponsoring an event.
That's
a very valuable touch point.
Exactly. 11 touch points, and then on 4 different platforms.
Yeah, that's an important thing.
Because we see a differentiation in platforms as well. So if you get 7-11-4, what happens in the mind of your audience is that you move away from noise, which is the problem we sit with, into friend. The human brain, if I watched, a 3-hour video of Diary of a CEO, if I watched 2 of those episodes, right?
Yes.
Then I like Stephen Bott.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
You feel like,
he's a friend of mine.
I know him.
And
That's true. That's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
And
Now-
I mean, what a podcast.
Yeah, what a podcast. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Diary of a CEO,
Yeah.
do yourself a favor. Go find it. Finish our video first.
Yeah,
Finish
it first. Yeah.
and go check that. Brilliant.
Yeah, ours is not 3 hours. I don't.
No. This is not there yet.
Yeah, not there yet.
Yeah, but I mean that makes sense. And the main thing, and that where you say what's 7-11-4, but those 3 factors or the facets, especially when it comes to the touch points and platforms. Yes, the content makes sense. You need content. People won't trust you after listening to you for 30 minutes. They need multiple that's my dad always said, for every wrong thing you do, you need to do 7 right. But it's actually your mind is set up to only remember things and store it in a different area after 7 repeats. So 7, and there's research on this that I can't remember where, but I know there's research on it. So the 7 makes sense. But when you look at the touch points and the platforms, people tend to miss those. Making content is easy. Knowing where to go, because people tend to say, oh yeah, but I'll post it where I like it. But you forget you're not selling to yourself. You're selling to other people. And yeah, I hate TikTok. I hate TikTok, but our company has a TikTok page. Why?
Right.
Because there's a generation that does everything on TikTok.
Yeah.
So if you're not on TikTok, you're not speaking to that generation. The younger people in my office always say I'm old because I've got Facebook. Yes, but my generation older would look at Facebook and LinkedIn and X. If you want to do American clients, if you're not on X, you don't exist, because that's the platform they use. So multiple platforms are important because it's the platforms you want to find your clients, not the ones you feel like. And it's easy. You can actually post the same thing on all those platforms.
Well, these days with AI,
Yeah.
If you create one long form video, I feed that into an AI system, and it takes out the shorts, formats it to the different platforms, and we can send it out.
Yeah.
And I think people are afraid to get into multiple platforms because they think it's going to take so much time
It's going
to create content for all of these different platforms. Do one.
And from experience from our side, it takes exactly the same time, because you create the content, you create a post, you create the video or the image, and you just select on which platforms it goes. Whether you post it on 1 or 5, it takes exactly the same time. But, and that authenticity needs to make sense. You can't just look at, in our case, like our social media platform is not like a law firm, because we're not like lawyers. We are lawyers, but we have a different approach. And if you look at our social media, it's the same. You can see it's ours. You can identify our stuff immediately because it's authentic. And if I try and be like one of my corporate competitors, I'm not going to, people come to me because of how we are. If I try and
Your voice.
Exactly.
And what they like about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
If we try and mimic, and this is now important, if you try and mimic your competitor, something will just not feel right to the consumer. Plus, they might go and like, oh, you're just trying to copy them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. It's the thing is, just be yourself.
Yeah.
But your best self.
Your best self. don't yourself within that scenario.
Yeah.
So don't be fake, but don't sit and down tequila just because that's yourself on Saturdays.
Unless your ideal customer profile is
yeah,
tequila drinkers.
That's true. If you sell liquor, and I'm thinking of a very specific client,
Yeah.
down tequila. And then the second thing, so touch points. What people also forget is, especially in social media, where we are sitting now, it's not difficult to get touch points. It's so easy. Team up, partner. I mean, we just by doing this podcast I created 2 touch points because he has access to my clients and I have access to your clients purely through showing this. And the collaboration post thing is amazing. YouTube launched it, I think, a month ago, where you actually collab and automatically both platforms, both profiles would have the same thing. There's 2 touch points that didn't cost us anything. We would have posted it anyway, but just like that, just by collaborating on something as silly as a podcast, we have the touch point to a completely new audience on your side and on my side. And it doesn't need, that's the other thing, it doesn't need to be digital. Digital is very, very powerful, but people forget that one touch point is still, and a platform as well, is still personal engagement.
That's why one of the things that we're seeing is actually, and it's surprising to a lot of people, is the power of books still.
Yes.
You know, there's a reason people say you wrote the book on it.
Yeah.
One of the products that I'm busy with that we're developing in our AI automation company is a book writing piece of software for founders and CEOs and key people of influence, because you want to get a book out there.
Yeah.
You want to, take your ideas, get it researched, have a co-writer that writes with you. And AI is amazing at that. And it's been trained to take out the M-dash, so you're fine. Because you've got all this content and knowledge already, you sometimes just need a platform where it can help you structure, ask you the difficult questions. Have you thought about this? What is your opinion about this? Taking that information into structure format of chapters, and you've got a book.
Yeah.
And now you can get that book printed. You can share it when you are in front of an audience. You can have that as a free giveaway or as a prize.
And that's valuable. I mean, going somewhere, and sorry for interrupting, but going somewhere and saying, thank you for coming to listen to me.
I've got a book.
Here's a book.
Oh, here's a book.
Yeah. It has that mindset about, holy hell, this guy wrote a book. He must know what he's talking about. Yeah. Plus, people tend to chuck away a lot of paper, but a book, even if you never read it,
I never throw away a book.
There's something about a book. You'll either keep it or gift it, but you won't chuck it.
No.
So it's a very powerful marketing tool and a very powerful way to make yourself authentic and legitimate. This is like, yes, I did this. I know what I'm talking about. I don't think books will ever go away, because it's we've got a paperless office, but it's scattered with books and autobiographies of people and things like that, because there's still something about picking up a piece of paper and reading what somebody, plus within the age of AI, there's this weird thing about it's printed, I'll trust it more.
I think so. And even though we leverage the power of AI to help you formalize your thoughts, it's still your voice.
Yeah, it's
still your life experiences. It's your stories. There's a great book that I love around marketing that says, "He with the best story wins."
Yeah.
And it's finding your story that you tell. And that's the power of books, is they condense years of life experience
into something
that you can basically pick up and read in a few days or a few hours. So getting back to our key person of influence marketing and the personal branding, this is one of the questions that I have for you. So how can I guide the CEOs that I work with that's working on their personal brands? How do they protect that? How do they, what I want to say legal, fences could they pick up to protect their personal brand?
Yeah. And look, at the end of the day, a personal brand is still a brand. Not everybody would qualify to be a personal brand. I mean, you do need to have that significance. You do need to be a recognized, Richard Branson, or it doesn't need to be that level. It's Dennis Kriel, because in the circles you move, you are recognized, you are respected. Christian Stein, in the intellectual property circles, people know me, or most people know me, whether they like me or hate me, they know me.
They at least know you, you know?
They know you.
Yeah.
There's no
So this is outside of the three Fs.
Yes.
The friends, family, and
yes, 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 definitely. So once you meet that threshold of you are seen as a personality. And I mean, that's easy. Not celebrity, but a personality, as somebody that's identified by their peers as a specific person with a specific authority. Once you've got that, you can look at yourself in that sense of, okay, well, I have a brand separate from my usual ID name. And that can be your name and surname, or some people just have their name, or like sure, or something like that.
That's the next level of
but it depends on how you are known to the public.
Yes.
That's essentially your personal brand. I can quickly, just for context, SABC was sued last week by a personality because SABC faked that person is a presenter. They used a presenter's name without a presenter actually being employed.
Oh, wow.
Now that is what I mean by a personality. It's a presenter on TV, so people would think that there's an association where there's not. So the moment your association by your name brings value, you meet that threshold. And it's value not to the world, it's in your industry.
Okay.
Then it's fairly straightforward. If the name is available, that's the main thing, because now your name is more than an idea, it becomes a brand. Then it needs to go through the branding and trademark aspects, and I'm not going to bore the listeners by now, and you know it, and if they want to know, contact us.
I know a great website with the AI.
Yes. I know we'll help you. So then you just purely look at it. Yes, there's personality rights. There's a common law principle. There's copyright aspects to your likeness, photos of you, your voice, instances like that you would have copyright over. And that's automatic. And copyright is automatic, right? And it's automatically international. Don't quote me on international. It is automatically recognized throughout certain countries that are part of the same convention.
Just on that point, some of the work we're doing around, so one of the tools that I built is Eva, my electronic virtual assistant.
Yes.
And she's got her own voice, unique voice that I programmed in. And she connects with my calendar, and people can talk to her and say, when is Dennis available for a meeting? But what's interesting with that is, now if you become a key person of influence and there's this content on there, I can take 5 minutes of you on a podcast and clone your voice.
Yeah. Which is copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Or can lead to
copyright infringement.
And that's the key
but
thing.
Is it only if I protect my brand or my personal brand as a brand?
No. Okay.
Or everybody.
So this is the thing. Why would you use my voice?
It's just a 60.
No, I know. But are you using my voice for a specific reason?
Yeah.
And there's two factors. Are you using my voice because people would recognize it immediately and listen to the podcast because it's my voice, or listen to this because they think automatically there's this association with what I recognize this voice? And I mean, there's a few actors whose voices are iconic. There's actually a few actors whose rights in their own voices have been transferred to, like, Disney. But there's this association. People would hear it and automatically know, I know that voice. I know that is this person, and have that association. If you do that, obviously copyright exists. Or and this is now when I talk about copyright, not the privacy personality side that everyone would have. This is a brand. The second thing is, if I sell my voice, if I'm a voiceover actor, and you use my voice, I don't need to be famous. I make money out of this. You did it. I lost on income. I can take you on. So that's the two factors. Plus, on IP, you can, if you just copy the lady that's walking there, her voice, then she can take action against you. But that's on a completely non-IP aspect. That's personal rights and private rights. That's things.
It's more in the privacy
Yeah,
space than the.
That's not what we're talking. So don't don't clone people's voices.
Yeah.
Especially not if you want to do fraud.
Yeah.
Don't do fraud.
Yeah, don't do fraud.
Yeah, don't do fraud. Like that.
Yeah. Like I'm thinking of the videos they created with Elon Musk
That's true.
that was running in South Africa as an ad.
Yeah.
Where Elon Musk now apparently created this investment. He didn't.
That-
For South
that's fraud.
Africans. Yeah. And it looked like him. It sounded like him and so forth. You know, and it's scary. I saw the stats, how many old people fell for that.
No, but the thing is, because he's a personality, he could claim copyright in relation to those things. The second part, so that's a copyright side. Your likeness can be copyright or subject to copyright, photos, things like that, and your voice. But there's a second side, and this is more the important side. The one we usually tell people: the moment you become a brand on your own, trademark it. You can also trademark your voice, for instance. You can. It's difficult, but we know how. As long as it meets the criteria of a brand. But the fact is, your name, your likeness. There's a few fashion designers and sports stars and celebrities that have trademarked their signature, literally, their likeness, their names, their stage names, things like that. They've copyrighted it, and there's a list that we did a post a while ago with a few examples. And now you've got you don't have to rely on the copyright. Yeah, it was automatic, so I need to prove it, enforce it, and go fight. You now have a registered trademark that you can enforce against anybody that misuses your name or whatever you protected as a brand. Now you have like the Nike tick for yourself, if I can refer to it like that. And you can leverage that as a commercial value, something you can use to gain even more funds. And people underestimate the value of registering your personal brand. And people tend to overlook it. Yes, celebrities, artists, musicians, those guys understand it because they are their brand. And then in a business setting like us, we tend to be like, yeah, but I'm not a brand. If I go talk somewhere, people come and listen to Christian Stein. They don't come and listen to Stein IP. Yes, there's an association and people know it's Christian Stein from Stein IP and they want to listen. For instance, if I do a talk at Rage coming up and talk I did at Comic-Con every year, people come and listen to me. They're like, oh, Christian Stein is there. From Stein IP, yes, but it's Christian Stein. Okay, so they come to listen to me. So if that platform says Christian Stein is speaking, but he's not, people will come there listening to me, but I was not there. Now there's a reputational damage because I didn't pitch up. I was never invited, but
now they think you just,
where I have a trademark for my personal brand, I'm just using this as a scenario and an example. I can actually take legal action because they infringed my trademark. Removing it from me as a person, making it this product. It has exactly the same principle. I am pimping myself out. I am my own product. I have a brand and name on my product. Like everybody knows me, knows I've always have my name on me. But the fact is, it's this constant going of, this is my brand. It's protected. People listen to me. It's got value and it's commercializable like everything else. And then you can use your personal brand value to the benefit of your company and other companies.
And that's really where you want to get you. You want to know, to basically be able to shine the spotlight on what your company is doing.
Look at
it's
me.
It's not an egotistic thing.
It's not.
It's not like, guys, look how cool I am.
It's marketing.
It's just highlighting the things you're passionate about. And people respond to that passion.
It is. That's
and then saying, listen, I'm passionate about this. I talk about this. I'm writing a book at the moment. How do we prepare our children for the world of AI? What advice should we give them? How do we make them relevant in a world where AI will take millions of jobs, create more as well, but still, how do we prepare our children? Because it's something I'm passionate about.
Yes.
So now when I talk about AI as a father that is grappling with this issue, and I say, I've actually got an AI company. I understand what jobs will be impacted. Now I'm shining the light on an aspect that I'm passionate about. It's not about elevating just me, but I am known for talking about this and knowing what I'm talking about. So a personal brand is not ego.
No,
a personal brand, and this is why it's important to protect it, is a vehicle for you to change the world into a better place, because you're talking about stuff that you're passionate about. It could be your companies, it could be your products,
or it could just be you.
It could be just for you.
Because sometimes you as a person are your business. And I always use musicians and artists as an example of that, because that's very easy. Oh yeah, no, that they automatically people understand the fact that they are their business. But it's not limited to those creative industries. It is as valuable in any industry, especially nowadays, the world we're sitting in, the borderless consumption of information and
it's a golden time of reach.
It is.
Suddenly you can reach the multitudes. Anyone.
No, that's the truth. But building that authenticity becomes so much more important and difficult, because great, I have this reach, but everybody has this reach. How do I convince that person sitting in America or sitting in Germany that they must use my company, small IP law firm in South Africa, to do their IP for them, as opposed to this massive conglomerate corporate company that has been doing it for 150 years? How do I do that? They've got the legacy name. I can convince him by being me.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know who's working on that side. He doesn't know the CEO. He doesn't know what I stand for. It's just a name.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, hi, I know you. I stand for this. I feel like this. This is how I build. And by default, this is how I've built my company. If he likes the way I talk to, he's not necessarily just going to be like, yeah, let's go for him. But I've got my foot in the door. Something I say resonates with him. Or simply, and this is true story, the amount of times I speak to people or go first engagement on Teams or in a meeting, you don't look like a lawyer. Yes, thank you. Automatically, it's usually a negative thing. They've got a bad experience with lawyers.
Yeah.
That mind shift in their mind, without them realizing, it's like, you don't look like a lawyer, therefore you won't do what the other lawyers do. You won't have the same experience with me than you had with your other lawyers. I might look at this differently. I've got other ideas.
That disassociation with what they
with the experience.
This is not a prokurover.
This is not a prokurover, yes. For the foreign viewers, that's Afrikaans. I'm going to say derogatory term for lawyers. It's prokurover. But anyway, but that's the thing. So something as silly as the way you dress, it must be authentic. This is how I look. This is what I dress like. Sometimes I actually just have a t-shirt on and pants. But the fact is, you must be authentic. Yeah. But the way you present yourself, and the way you speak and the way you are, is already says so much about yourself before you even started engaging. And I'll support this simply by, why do people click on specific videos? Because I like the way the image looks. Or, I'm looking at a blog. I'm clicking on this one. Why? Because I know the presenter, but I like the way the guy looks that he's speaking to.
Yeah, it's in seconds.
It's instant. You don't even read his name. You see it and automatically your mind made up yes or no. Or maybe.
Just designing thumbnails for a YouTube channel. Yeah. That's a science in its own.
Yeah, no. I gave up.
I've got a little bit of a history in psychology as well. And I love just the anthropological principles of how you present somebody or someone. Just to come back to, positioning yourself as a key person of influence, or we call it influencer marketing in the sense that it's it's personal brand marketing, right? You don't want to be an influencer.
No.
An influencer is just going for followers.
And it's a different thing on its own.
You want to be known within a specific niche. And the question you ask basically is, what do I want to be known for?
Yeah.
Where do I want to have those opinions, those unique, I like what that person is saying. And if you speak to your ideal client, your ideal niche that you want to solve a problem for,
Yes.
people respond to that.
And that want to solve a problem, we've got a saying in this office, never waste a good crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds silly, but the problem solving aspect, it's more than a problem. It's people come to you with a crisis, or in our industry especially, and in yours, they've got a crisis.
Yeah.
They don't call it
My
a crisis,
company is
but
dying
it's
because I haven't got enough leads.
I don't know how to market myself.
Yeah.
I've been sued because I'm infringing somebody. Somebody infringed me. Things like people come to you with a crisis. It's a need, a problem, but it needs to be solved now, which makes it a crisis. You already have their ear because they need a solution. They know you've got it. But your personal brand is how you use it to tell them you've got it. And this is a very important distinguishing factor. Most companies are not selling chocolates. If you are, don't listen to this part. But people tend to say, and I'm not a marketing expert by any means, so don't ridicule me if you are a marketing expert. Like you, don't ridicule me. But the main thing is people forget that they are not selling chocolates. If you sell services or even specific specialized goods, people won't see your ad and think, yes, I now want to go file a trademark. Yeah, there are those few, and that's brilliant. But the way we market ourselves is selling insurance, essentially. And we're not selling insurance. We're not an insurance company. But it's something that when somebody needs you, they must remember your name already.
Yes.
It's not instant needs gratification. It is a constant reminder of yes. So when they have this need, your name is the only one that pops up.
Exactly.
And
because you're known, liked, and trusted in that space.
That's the thing.
Yeah. That's why it's so powerful, because now I'm mildly interested in, copyright and so on.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of starting a company. I'm doing my research.
Yeah.
I come up and watch a YouTube video or read an article, or see you on
Googling
LinkedIn or Googling it. And these days also I'm asking ChatGPT.
That's true.
That's why GEO is becoming so important on websites. I've got a business idea. I want to trademark something, or I want to protect myself legally. Who should I speak to? And this is, if you've got a YouTube channel and you've got a LinkedIn post and you write for publications and you've got a book, the chances of you being cited in AI, for instance, in ChatGPT, in search, in personal referencing is so much bigger.
Yeah. Plus, the one thing that people forget is you're not going to be the only result coming up. And this is where it becomes so important. I'm not the only result, but people will click on me. Why? Because they recognize my name or the company names, and they've seen me before, and they recognized my logo or my face. And that's where the key thing comes in. Like we said on your recognizing of a face, and I click on videos. When you select and do this, the next time you walk into a shop, realize how much you buy based on the logo. And how little you buy based on the name. Do not underestimate the value of your logo as your core brand. People tend to be like, my name is more important. People tend to go, we are visual beings. We consume with our eyes. Words were just a thing that we made up to be able to communicate, but we consume with our eyes. And what is lettering other than images that we just gave word meaning to? Use your brand, your physical likeness, and the physical likeness of your business is your logo.
Yeah, that's true. That's what, and that's what makes the connection between, as we spoke earlier, noise and friend.
Yes.
If you've, and that's why, companies like Coca-Cola and the others spend so much time on, getting that in
Yes.
front of people as many times as possible.
Yeah.
Just with the rugby this weekend.
I know.
You know, those ads where you say, you know, take a photo of the Coca-Cola logo or send that to us and you could win something.
Yeah.
It's because they want to increase your likeliness of your mind seeing that logo,
Exactly.
seeing that logo.
And people, and we had a discussion in the office this morning, people tend to underestimate the value of marketing outside your sphere. Think of any energy drink company. They don't market energy drink companies or energy drinks. They market experiences, lifestyles. I want to jump out of an airplane. I don't, but therefore I want to drink the stuff that this cool guy
But that's
does.
association.
That, yeah.
You know, and what's it, guys? What's the coffee company? Nespresso does it very well.
Yeah, they do.
That association with a specific lifestyle or whatever. And now bringing it back to personal brand.
Yeah, that's what I was like.
yeah.
And it becomes a personal brand because there's a person they use with a personal brand to promote their product. This guy doesn't even work for them, but it's that, and it becomes this valuable interaction of brands, personal brands, company brands, product brands, service brands that just function together. And understanding that and understanding how you can use that to the benefit of your company is essential, because at the end of the day, you're in business to make money.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to change the world, but if you don't make money, you can't live your dream and your business dream and fulfill that desire you have why you started the company.
Yeah, I think when it comes to money, I agree. You want to make money. But for me personally, money is the outcome of solving a problem for somebody.
No,
definitely. I think it's just, but we're getting philosophical now.
No.
But if you, and this is the same with personal brand as well, if you chase it for the recognition,
yeah, that's true. It's not.
Then people are going to see through it.
No.
If you do the company only because you want to make money,
be authentic about it.
Be authentic about it. You know, say why you want to make money, but money is just a tool to change something in the world.
That's the truth. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, and I know we're running out of time, but when I say make money, there's different reasons why people make money. Some people make money because they want to buy 5 Ferraris. Some people make money because they want to grow a business and give other people opportunity and give work to people and change the world. But how do you change the world? You change one person or one industry in the world. So that's a legitimate thing. But money becomes the tool. So your business needs to make the money to have the tool to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you can't, my grandmother always said, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I only realized it very late in my life, what she meant by that. But you have to have something to be able to give something.
It needs to be from abundance.
Yeah.
And you can't have it from a deficit.
No, you can't.
Exactly.
You can, but you're not going to last long.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing, is understanding that you have a personal brand, that regardless of what industry you are, and whether you think you are influential or not, look at what the industry says. Look at what your peers say. Look at how many followers you have versus your company. That's a very valuable tool, because people tend to want to listen to you as opposed to your company. And then try and understand how to make those things work together to the benefit of your company, of your business, of your dream, essentially. And this is where the punting comes in. Don't think you can necessarily do it yourself. There is a reason people like Dennis and these companies exist, because he understands how to leverage that personal brand. There is a reason I exist and my company exists, because we know how to protect that personal brand, so that people like Dennis and his company can leverage it and commercialize it to make sure your company works. So I think last thoughts. 2 last thoughts. Yes.
1, don't underestimate the power that you have and your unique experiences and take on things. You've got life experiences. It's valuable, you know, specifically in the space that and be more open about it. Talk about it. People find value out of it. As soon as you can, you know, people are going to use you, for instance, more and more, not for entertainment, but for education.
That's true.
And we're seeing that more and more. People are moving away from just dopamine hits. That's what TikTok is for. I want to learn something. I want to become better. I want to find out something more. And then my last thought is I'm really excited for you to come onto my podcast.
Can't wait about for that.
Marketing Madness, where we can expand. I think we've just touched on so many things today that we can explore more and see, how does, the problems that you solve in the world overlap with the problems we try and solve.
And they do overlap.
They do.
So much. So the links to his companies, all the companies he's involved in, his podcast, everything will be in the description as per usual. But yeah, Dennis, thank you so much. And I'm definitely coming to chat to you.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
Really enjoyed it.
So thanks.